The Black Death, or pestilentia, as contemporaries referred to different epidemic diseases, was the deadliest disaster in recorded history throughout the Middle Ages. Some called it magna mortalitas, emphasizing the high death rate. More people were killed by it than by any other known occurrence combined. The surviving were scarcely adequate to bury the dead, one observer observed. Nobody knew for sure what brought on the devastating plague. The plague arrived in Western Europe in 1347 and in England in 1348. It faded away in the early 1350s. Swellings, most frequently in the groin, armpits, and neck, dark patches, and bloody coughing were some of the signs of the Black Death. Different strains of the disease took anywhere from 5 days to as little as half a day to induce death, according to medieval witnesses and their modern counterparts who observed more recent epidemics in 19th-century China and 20th-century Vietnam. The Black Death is estimated to have killed 50 million people in Europe over the course of 3 to 4 years. The population fell down to 30 million people from about 80 million. In both rural and urban areas, at least 60% of the population perish. In fact, manorial records from some locations, like a village on an estate in Cambridgeshire, attest to the fact that 70% of its tenants perished in a matter of months in 1349. And tax records from the city of Florence created shortly before and after the Black Death suggest that its toll may have been about the same in 1348. Many rural communities declined, including those that were completely destroyed, like Quob in Hampshire, and were in time deserted. People in the Middle Ages had no idea that some communities survived. All they knew was that everyone would undoubtedly perish. People in the Middle Ages responded to the Black Death with processions and prayers because they thought it was God's doing. A collection of tales shared among a group of young people seeking sanctuary from the Black Death outside of Florence may be found in Boccaccio's Decameron. Some of his contemporaries realized that the only cure for disease was to flee from it. People demanded medications despite the lack of a recognized cure. Chaucer observed that the doctor of physic made a lot of gold out of the plague. In the 1890s, the plague bacteria was discovered, and a link between animals and fleas was made. Plague can be treated with modern drugs, however these are in danger due to evolving infections and antibiotic resistance. As people in medieval times described it, and then it spread to the eastern Mediterranean, Italy, Spain, and France before moving north and west. Then it traveled to Britain, where it simultaneously impacted Dorset and Hampshire along the south coast of England. Then the plague moved to the east and north, and finally to Scandinavia and Russia. Before the third pandemic at the end of the 19th century, no observers of the time noted any epizootic, animal epidemic, of rats or of any other rodents before or during the Black Death, or during any subsequent plagues in Europe. However, descriptions of rat falls associated with a human illness characterized by buboes in the main lymph nodes date at least as far back as the 18th century in subtropical parts of China and Africa.
Let us know in comments what you think about this tragedy. And don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Thank you.